Hi, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If you are brand new to my channel, yay, you found me. I'm so glad. I've been waiting for you. And my goal for you is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both sometimes watching a specific film. And if you are a returning subscriber, yay, thank you so much. I truly appreciate your support. When you've got a minute, run over to Instagram and follow me as Movie Review Mom, but also my author page on Instagram is Trina Boyce. And if you want to talk about movies even more, run over to Facebook, where I've got a Facebook group called, guess what? Movie Review Mom, of course. All right, so today I've got a really sweet special film that I want to tell you about. It is called Lauren and Rose. It will be in theaters on June 23rd, 2023. However, there are also some opportunities to watch it streaming for the cities where it's not playing in theaters. You can learn more about that on the movie's website. The movie is rated PG. It's an hour and 23 minutes. And my movie review mom grade is an A. I really enjoyed this film. Now, I know that's rare for a film critic to give you the score before I've even told you anything else about the movie. So stick around. Don't jump off to another channel. What I'm going to do is give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked about the movie, things I didn't like about the movie, tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, and even recommendations for some other films I think you're also going to like if you like this one, and vice versa. If you like those, I think you'll like this. All right, you ready to dive in? In a nutshell, this lovely film was written and directed by award-winning filmmaker Russell Brown, who did Search Engines, The Bluetooth Virgin, and other projects that are equally as awesome, I thought. So congratulations on creating a fine piece of art in this film. The film has already won many awards at a variety of film festivals, so I'm not the only one that thought it was really great. The story is about Rose, who is a legendary actress trying to revive her career. Lauren is a promising filmmaker. Over the course of their many encounters, a deep friendship evolves as their love of art, understanding of grief, and faith in life's potential guide them through personal and creative transformations. Kelly Blatz and Jacqueline Bisset star with a chemistry that is at once authentic and intoxicating. I had the great pleasure of interviewing both the director, Russell Brown, and the lead actor, Kelly Blatz. So be sure and watch my interview on my Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. I was only given 15 minutes with these guys for the interview, and I could have talked all day long with them. They're both so talented and passionate about filmmaking and genuinely nice guys. So I'll share the link down below as soon as that interview goes live. All right, so let me share some of the things that I really liked about this film. First of all, it was wonderful to see Jacqueline Bisset in a movie again. She gives an impeccable performance filled with dignified exuberance. She's 77 years old and still looks fantastic. We get to hear her speak French a little bit and even sing a little bit. So the director, Russell Brown, told me that he did not want to sing in this movie at all. And so she said to him, well, then you do it. So he was like, so he started to sing a little song. And then she said, fine, I'll do it. I really enjoyed Kelly Blatz's performance as well. He seemed perfectly cast in this role and looked a filmmaker or a writer or both. I had never seen him in anything before, but I'm a huge fan now. I've got so many movies of his to catch up on. Fun fact, he was actually in a band for 6 years called Capra. Here's another fun fact. He actually dated Ryan Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively, for 4 years until 2007. The cast also includes Gia Carides from My Big Fat Greek Wedding, Paul Sand from Sweetland, Aaron Cahill from Sleepy Hollow, and Rebecca Noble from CGI Vegas. I love it when movies reference other movies. In the case of this film, the two main stars talk about filmmaking as an art and how to do it honestly, creatively, and authentically. It's fascinating to hear their thoughts about creativity and inspiration. Jacqueline Bisset said about this movie, quote, "It's an intimate story that reflects so much of what I've felt and thought about being in this business." End quote. We spent a lot of time at the dinner table with these two characters. You're going to get hungry while watching this movie. Sierra Thompson served as the food stylist, which is a position that was actually very important in this movie. The film itself is divided into a three-course viewing meal. The appetizer is Act One, designed to whet our appetite as we're introduced to the characters. The entree takes a deeper dive into the heart and souls of the leading characters, and the dessert is a sweet and tender farewell in the story of an indelible bond forged between a promising young filmmaker and an iconic actress. I loved the idea of plating a beautiful film to be tasted, savored, and consumed. Jacqueline Bisset's character calls creme brulee the king of desserts. Yum. So, what's your favorite dessert? Comment down below. I used to teach classes at the famous Le Cordon Bleu Culinary College here in Las Vegas, and I've got the waking to prove it. Sadly, the school closed a few years ago. Now, the famous campus in Paris, France, is still pumping out fantastic chefs, but the campuses here in the United States closed due to some legislation that passed about trade schools during the Obama administration. Our campus spent $50,000 on butter alone. Ah, French cooking. Okay, but I digress. At the 1 hour, 16-minute mark, there's such a touching and powerful scene. Bring tissues. There's also a conversation in the movie about directors using the zoom in effect too much in a movie. And the comment made me laugh because director Russell Brown seemed to enjoy that technique often in this movie as well. But it's absolutely appropriate in this film because many of the scenes are focused on just two people having entertaining, insightful, and intelligent conversations. And so we want to see their expressions and their reactions up close. The musical score by Mike Sawitsky is absolutely lovely. I loved the last song at the end of the movie. It was called Who Knows Where the Time Goes, performed by Sandy Denny. There's something special about Paul Sand that made me just fall in love with his character instantly. Now, Jacqueline Bisset's character bemoans how Hollywood treats aging actresses, and rightly so. It's tough, however. There have been quite a few films released in recent years that feature older actresses like Jane Fonda, Diane Keaton, Mary Steenburgen, Candice Bergen, and Lily Tomlin. I'm so happy to see there is still a place in Hollywood for films with aging starlets. And out of all of those leading ladies, they are aging beautifully, I might add. We're shown helpful screen cards that tell us how much time has passed between the dinner meetings that we observe in the film. And that's helpful so we can kind of see the years just melt away. Scattered throughout the one-on-one dinner conversations and scenes between the two leads are scenes that show all of the famous actresses' belongings and how they're being auctioned off after her death. It's a harsh look at the reality that we're all going to leave this earth one day and wonder what things of true meaning and value we're going to leave behind. Treasures, a legacy, children, our work. 3 of my parents recently passed away, as some of you know, in only 3 months apart from each other. It was extremely painful and still is, and heartbreaking to go through all of their precious belongings and have to decide whether to keep them, give them away, sell them for a fraction of the worth that they had, or toss them. A lifetime placed into a box or a garbage can. So, this movie I thought did a really good job illustrating that profound, sobering experience. When I mentioned in my interview with these two directors about the character pathing, Russell Brown said, "Now, wait, we don't really know that the character died." And I was shocked. I was like, "What?" And he said, "Well, she just sort of disappears. So maybe her health causes her to, disappear from the public eye. Of course, one day she will pass." Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. The movie also illustrates the rare friendships that we find in our lives, if we're lucky, where the emotional connection is more powerful than we ever anticipated it would be. Now, with all of that praise, there were just a few things that I thought could have been done better or didn't like. For example, I thought that the movie poster doesn't quite capture the elegance or insightfulness of this movie. The conversations seem a little bit indulgent and maybe even pretentious for most people, but even still, that's probably how it is in Hollywood. And these characters really do care for each other. The movie is a bit slow moving, but if you're patient, you will enjoy savoring the meal one delicious bite at a time. Now, some viewers might complain that the conversations aren't very realistic, but we have to remember the conversation is between two artists in Hollywood where craft is internalized and actors take their craft very seriously and should. I loved hearing the characters' thoughts on the art that they were both trying to create. There is enough garbage in the world, so let's have more elevating art that makes us think and feel. And I thought this movie did both of those things. Now, let me give you some tips for parents. First of all, kids are going to be completely bored simply because the movie is mostly two adults talking. One of the characters is gay and discusses his challenges in his personal relationship life. There is some talk of intimate relations that's inappropriate for young children. And then there is some light profanity. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well are friendship, companionship, memories, legacy, time, aging, creativity, art, and the filmmaking process. So I always like to write down funny lines and interesting lines while I'm watching movies, simply so I can share them with you so you can get a taste of the dialogue and the script writing quality. Even I have them all in my written review at moviereviewmom.com, so you can check those out there, but I'll share a few of them with you right now. So here are a couple of funny lines that I'll share with you. Rose, who's played by Jacqueline Bisset, says, "Dessert choices say everything about a man." And I thought that was interesting. And I thought about the desserts my husband loves, and I think, yeah, it actually does. And then, speaking about dessert, later she says, "Nothing will deter me from my dessert." And again, I thought about my husband because just the other day, we were having company over for dinner, and I said, "Okay, so what should I do for dessert?" And he was like, "We don't have to have dessert." And I was like, "Wash out your mouth, young man. Of course we're having dessert." Dessert's the best part of the meal. And then an interesting line that I actually talked about with Russell Brown and Kelly Blatz was a line spoken by, again, Jacqueline Bisset's character. And she says, "A lot of great art is not about understanding, it's about letting the experience just wash over you." And I thought that line is especially appropriate for this film because some viewers might complain that nothing happens in this movie. So just I want you to know going into it to let this movie wash over you and experience the conversations about art. And I think you'll enjoy the movie that much more. Okay, delete that really long pause. And then another really interesting analogy is our life kind of as a tree. Now, you have to see the movie to understand what I'm talking about, but Jacqueline Bisset's character again says, "I am a great tree, but I know that I too will someday pass. And that is why I dance today. And so there's a really sweet beginning and end of the movie that encapsulates that idea and shows some imagery around that. You'll see when you watch the movie. But I liked that idea of, we don't know how much time we have in this life. And so we need to dance today. The other quote is how Kelly Blatz, the young filmmaker, says about her as he's watching all of her items be auctioned off. He says, the sales scattered her remains like dust. So the physical things we leave behind are, in a way, meaningless. They might have some meaning to us and maybe our immediate family and loved ones, but ultimately, we want to leave things behind that have true value, relationships and memories and that kind of thing. Anyway, obviously, I thought the movie was lovely. And I want to share two movie recommendations with you right now before we head out. The first one is called My Dinner with Andre, kind of a classic. And another one is probably one that flew under the radar, but I thought was really intriguing. It's called The Song of Lunch. Now, it's a shorter film, but it features two people having lunch and all of the conversations and the memories that are drummed up between the two of them. And it's just fascinating. I absolutely love the two actors that star. It's available on Amazon. Definitely check that one out too, especially if you like this one. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I really appreciate all of your comments. Put them down below. Like, subscribe, you know the drill. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.